Heavy boots, steel on steel. The battlefield just changed. Cobra!
Me and my Vipers will crush you. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. Joe Takes. This is Joe Takes 83. We're going to have some fun. Just playing around with my Cobra Commander retro figure. So getting back on the battle stand, he just comes off with a short energy, but got some Vipers for you to look at. This is kind of an update. Hey, Superior Cyber Godzilla, welcome in, sir. Get your clip loaded up. It's good to see you, Zilla. Zilla, load your clip and have that a going while we talk about stuff, G.I. Joe stuff. Okay. Like I said, I've done a Viper episode before. I've also done Alley Viper and Televiper and Techno Viper. So instead of doing single episodes for every different Viper, I decided to just kind of do updates, and this is one of those. But, you know, this is the original 1986 Viper, and I have all his gear on him for this video. I didn't for the Viper video. He's got his backpack, his original backpack for 1986, and his original gun. So I do have one complete a Viper figure. I actually have, I bought a Viper Pit set in the early 2000s. And so I've got 6 of these dudes. One of them has a gold mask, and he's like the Viper squad leader. It's pretty cool. Now, not too long ago, they brought out a retro Viper, and I managed to pick this bad boy up. All right, let's get some background music going. Hopefully it doesn't overpower me, and let's do some Reapers coming. I don't have any G.I. Joe music loaded up today, but yeah. And in the back they have a almost file card, and I say almost file card because it's like in 5 different languages, and you only get like 3 or 4 lines. It's kind of stupid. Maybe 5 lines. Ooh, 5 lines. But yeah, at least it shows you what a file card used to look like on G.I. Joe cards. So yeah, there's your the retro card. Now, I don't know if I have all its accessories, but I'm pretty sure that I do. Of course, I dropped something because it's Joe Takes. And the question is, there it is. Found it with my foot. He's got these little extra hands that I'll show you. And I don't show them off in the video, so I'll pop them on and off and show you what they look like. The retro figures come with their own battle stands, which is nice. But he came with these 2 rifles. Both of them have magazines that pop out. He's does not come with a combat knife, but he does have a sidearm, which I think that's a mistake for the Viper. Definitely should have a combat knife. But he's just got your standard pistol back here. I'm going to take the backpack off. But he's got a standard pistol for Cobra. But what I do like is it's got a paint application on it, on the handle, so it looks like it's got a little bit of wood on there. It looks like it's got a wooden handle, which I think is kind of cool. Very nice. Very nice. You know, I don't have the Cobra Island Viper. I have the Viper 3-pack, and I showed that off in the Vipers episode. I'm pretty sure that was Joe Takes 33. So that's like 50 Joe Takes ago. Wow. Because it's 83 today. So, well, temperature-wise, it's 87, but we're close. All right. So at least it's not 90, which is what it's been, 90 in the hundreds lately. It's a bit cooler today than it has been. I can handle 80s. But yeah, there's your retro Viper with your vintage Viper side by side. It's pretty cool. Now, like I said, it's got these gauntlets, so it's not really easy to pop the hands on and off, but I'll do that. He's got a set of fists. I'll do that one first, so he can do some punching. And you just pop them off, and they come off really easy. And you can pop them in there, little pegs, big holes in the stems. Now you got fists, which is okay, you know. But for a retro figure that doesn't have a box to store the extra accessories in, it's kind of a pain. So I have to store them in like a Ziploc bag with the rest of the retro accessories that don't go on the character all the time. And then it came with the standard grapple hand, and I'm pointing at you finger. You are just such a naughty. Well, you know, I'm not really hip on these hands, but he's got the claw, the grappler arm, the hand, and the pointer. But I like to just display them with the gun hands because with the trigger fingers, that's the, you know, you want them with a gun. You don't think, you know, Vipers versus a GI Joe, they're just going to walk up there and get beat up because most Joes are trained to the point where fighting is second nature to them. You know, to become a Joe, you have to stand in a pit and fight until there's only a few people left standing until they tell you to stop. That's according to Larry Hammond weeding out. We were talking about that last week in Budo's Joe Take and Joe Take 82. Okay, so next up is the vintage Frag Viper. That's what we're going to take a look at now. Let me see if I got these here. Should be right on top, and it's not right on top, but it's the next one. So, Frag Viper, I like to keep them, all my little figures, my figures in these little baggies, my vintage figures. And naturally, all my bags are going to fall right now because I'm doing a show, so everything is going to fall on me. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to stick that back there, but it came with 3 grenades, which I don't want to lose, so I'm leaving them in the sealed baggie. And these baggies they got a little sticky on them, and they just seal right back up and come right open. So they stay sealed, but, you know, a Ziploc bag would work just as well. He came with a pistol. All I'm missing is my hoses, but I have a bag of hoses for all my characters. When I organized my accessories originally, I just stuck everything in bags, and I didn't. I'm slowly getting around to, as I do my Joe Takes, getting all their accessories and putting them together, but I haven't found my bag of hoses. And he had one that attached to his backpack that came around his face and attached to the peg right there on his mouth. You can see that. But that's this sort of high lie, whatever it is. It's that game with the hook where you throw balls. I'm not real familiar with it. High lie, I think is what they call it. And, it might have a different name. But this thick hose attaches to the backpack and the grenade launcher. And the idea is that the grenade launchers are in the backpack. And he'll just pop one up into his throwing hook and toss grenades all day. One right after the other. And that's why he's the Frag Viper. He's the Cobra grenade thrower, or grenadier, as it were. But later on, actually, right about the same time they came out with Iron Grenadiers, so they didn't want to use that term, and I don't blame them. And I have 2. I have 12 Frag Vipers complete. Other than I only have 3 of grenades, so I don't know what happened to the other ones. 3 grenades. They each came with 3. But and the hoses are in a bag somewhere. But they came with a pistol and a cool backpack with grenades, and it attaches to their little hooks, and they throw. And that's going to take us to the classified Frag Viper. And we're going to chat about him for a little bit. It's the box. Cool rough Frag Viper, and he is number 153 in the series. Retro Vipers aren't numbered. The retro characters, they don't have numbers like the Retro Cobra Commander or the Retro Viper. They're not numbered. Hey, we got Lost Husky in the house. What's up, Lost Husky? It is good to see you. I will let you start, and I will load up your clip too. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Having all sorts of fun today with technology, so that's life and me. But we'll get you all loaded up, my friend, and when Tiger gets here, we'll give everybody shout outs and play your clips. But in the meantime, there's back to where we were. I like this little image on the side. Some of these were cool, some not so cool. But in the back, there's shows them throwing their grenades, but it only comes with one, and I'll show you. It's a little disappointing. I wish you'd have come with some more grenades, some that actually fit into the backpack. That would have been cool. But the side art on this number 153 Frag Viper is really cool. All right, now this is what I'm telling you. This is the grenade it comes with. Okay, now supposedly it's supposed to attach to his grenade thrower, so it can look like he's throwing it out of there. And I don't know, it looks like a little fireball. I'm not sure what they were going for with this, because grenades don't do that when you throw them. Now, maybe if it's launched out of this thing, it propels it. It has a little gas that propels it. That may be the case, but it didn't. The application does not match the idea. And I'll show you what I mean here as we look at this classified Frag Viper on the battle stand proper. All right. I do like the fact that the plastic is, painted chrome or silver instead of all black. That was a nice touch. He comes with 2 pistols. They're not the same. They just gave him a Mac 10 or a machine. It's basically like an Uzi, but they both pop into these holsters here on the side, and he has 2. Now, on the vintage, he does have a pistol on one side, but a bag on, a pocket on the other. It's not another pistol, but I'm glad they just turned that into a holster, and so he can go around 2 Uzi in it, Now, the idea was, this one, I've got the modern one, I have the hose and everything, and this guy's helmet comes off. I'm going to try to take it off so I can show you what it looks like, but it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not really fond of the way it looks, but I guess that was the idea. They're not supposed to look all friendly and nice, but I do like this really heavy-duty hose that attaches to the backpack. And then, this hose attaches to the face and the backpack, just like the original was supposed to, But I don't know where my hoses are. But I looked all through my stuff yesterday, too, and I don't know what they are. But there's the grenade. It looks like there are grenades right in that backpack ready to launch. All right out and go right into the hose so we can throw them. Now, the idea was, see, there's these 2 little peg holes in the claw, but I mean, it was supposed to peg in there, but no matter how I tried, this peg is too big for these holes. Now, I probably could crimp that down a little bit so it can go through there, but it won't. They either made the peg holes too small or the peg too big. Either way, a little quality control issue on the Frag Viper, at least for mine. It looks like there might be excess plastic on mine, so it might just be mine. But it's the only one I have, so I don't know. I have nothing to compare it with. But pretty cool, Frag Viper. And we'll compare him to the vintage. The backpacks, very similar design, very cool. And the face sculpt is awesome. I love the way they redid the sash on the new one. That pistol is cool, the machine pistol on the original little submachine gun. I wish it had gone with that instead of just taking one of the standard Mac 10s they had. I mean, they gave that to so many different characters, including Snake Eyes and Mutt. And, it's cool that they gave him, 2 pistols instead of just 1, 2 submachine guns. But you know what? I'd have rather they included his original looking gun, only in the size of the classified. Now, like I said, I'm going to try to take his helmet off so you can see his face. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I got it. But the helmet just came off the hose really easy. So there it is. Read it and weep and view it and wonder what they were thinking of, because the original one, the helmet does not come off. That is not a helmet. That is the head sculpt for these original Frag Vipers. They kind of made me doubt for a second, but I never would have. No, that's a head sculpt. So, it's kind of a interesting idea. They kind of did the same thing with Night Viper, and we'll take a look here in just a minute. Because we're also going to be looking at Night Viper and then a new Viper that they've come out with recently that I have. So we're going to be looking at 4. But I'm gonna play Frag Viper, and I'll break this up a little bit. We'll play Viper and Frag Viper's file cards for you, and then we'll jump into talking about Night Viper and the last one. So, all right, let's get into this. couple file cards here for you. Yeah, but we'll say hello to Betty first. Hey, Betty, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hello, Betty. And I will load up your clip and star your comment. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Now, I will give you guys a proper shout out when the Tiger gets here. But we got your clips all loaded up. And we'll see that in a bit. And I'll be back in just a few minutes, like 4, because I got 2 file cards to share with you right now. So we got the Vipers coming, and then Frag Viper for you.
Cobra! Code name Viper. Cobra. Infantry. Primary specialty. Infantry. Secondary specialty. Various. Vipers are the backbone of the Cobra legions. They are the bottom of the pyramid, which leads to the hierarchy of material wealth and power within the organization. All Vipers are issued a combination assault rifle grenade launcher, along with a 3-day field pack, multi-layered body armor, and wrap-around acrylic composite helmets with built-in radio telecommunications gear are standard issue. This equipment and a bad attitude makes them very dangerous opponents. Vipers are highly motivated and superbly trained. However, to make them follow orders, the punishment for failure is to be left on the battlefield when the bats are deployed. This is due to the fact these androids are programmed to shoot and incinerate anything that moves in front of them. That is the last thing any Viper would want. Better to take his chances with the real enemy vehicle specialty. Cobra Flight Pod, aka Trouble Bubbles. Greed, ambition, and ruthlessness. And G.I. Joe, be warned, we have more weapons and more guts than you could ever hope to have. If you want to get anywhere in Cobra, you have to start out as a Cobra Viper. That's the bottom of the pyramid, and serving in the Cobra infantry is a small price to pay to gain access to the glittering prizes at the top. Cobra doesn't reward success with parades and medals. They offer material wealth, power, and an outlet for the terrible urges that drive the greedy, the envious, and the cruel. If that doesn't make a Cobra Viper a dangerous opponent, nothing does. We attack like a crimson tide, washing over the battlefield, leaving only destruction in our wake. Specialty. Grenade assault operations. Secondary specialty. Explosive ordnance. An integral part of the Cobra demolitions team. The Frag Vipers can toss high explosive fragmentation grenades with all the range and accuracy of an M79 or M2, the 3 grenade launcher. But without the noise from the muzzle blast, the secret lies in the manual hurling basket based on the Cessna used in the Basque sport of giant life. The Frag Viper Cessna is equipped with an automatic feed and variable time fuse grenades with a computer link to the helmet's automatic rangefinder. Their insect light goggles contain electro-optical image intensifiers that provide both infrared and night vision capabilities to locate targets wherever they may hide. The Frag Vipers carry a 50-round magazine with an automatic feeder and can deliver 15 rounds per minute. They follow the tactical guidance of their leader, Cobra Lethal, and have become so efficient and stealthy that their enemies never know where their attacks are coming from. We only have fun when things get blown up into tiny bits.
Now, Now, Frag Viper did come with that jagged knife too, and I have some of those, but I did not bring any out because I forgot it was from Frag Viper. That showed it in his hand there, and I was like, oh yeah. I got so excited to jump into this, I forgot to play the intro and the mature content warning, so I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll talk Night Viper and the new Viper.
Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell.
Wait, that's me.
I'm the G.I. Joe gamer, cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes and villains. On Wednesday nights we shout, Yo, Joe,
Or Cobra.
talking about the Joe team and a Cobra tide. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. Joe's got snake eyes, the silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's Duke, the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra Commander plots and schemes, see ruling the world in his dreams. Zartan is never what he seems, and Baroness rocks that black leather outfit. Shoot you quick and slip out the back of the pit. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. Talking about the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing. Oh yeah! Let's do this.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references. Time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Mission continues now. It happens, man. I was just really happy to talk some Vipers tonight. It's been a while to really get into some of my troop builders, and I have a few of these. I've got 3, but this is my only complete one. He did not come with a knife. He just came with a backpack, the goggles, and the monocle. And I'll compare those with the other. Now, this particular one, I'm thinking about fixing him up with my other one, because the other one has pegs on the leg. These pegs have been broken off, and the gun actually, and I'll show you when I show you the other one, snaps right on there. It's pretty cool. But Night Vipers were pretty badass back in the day when they came out. 1989, Frag Viper and Night Viper. Heat Viper also came out that year, but they haven't done him yet. So here is one with just the backpack. I'm pretty sure he had no, he didn't come with a bigger rifle. That was right. I just checked, and that's all it came with. I forgot about Frag Viper's knife, though. I don't know how I missed that. But anyway, like I said, it pegs right onto his leg. Now, what I might do is swap out the legs on the other one, so I'll have a complete example. Because I've got like 1999 Snake Eyes arms on him, and I think that's Overlord's crotch. That's where it went. Oh, because I was looking at Overlord a few months back. So there he is. That's Night Viper, but we'll look at the classified. And he does not have the rifle attached to his leg, which I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but that they didn't. But at the same time, it's like I wish they had. Now, let's take a look here at the classified box. You got the Cobra, Cobra Night Viper. He is number 187 in the line, so he's just murder. You got this here and the useless information that they say if you scan that go, the QR code and go to that website, you go and they'll give you the file card. It doesn't work anymore, and they still keep putting these on the box. So I don't know, maybe they intend to fix it up or not. Haven't seen it happen yet. Now, his helmet comes off too, but man, it's a pain in the butt, and because his head pops off really easy. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll try and take it off so you can see what it looks like underneath, and it's not much different. So it's like, why did they not just make his head sculpt? And it's just an odd choice to me, you know. And I get why, because let's have him have a helmet, you know, which is kind of neat, but also kind of not. And then here is the classified Night Viper. Now they had him come with a sniper rifle, which is cool. Compared to his original rifle, it's kind of similar, but not the same. If I can get it up here to where we can compare them a little bit. Like I said, not the same, but it's a sniper rifle and it snapped onto his leg. I thought that was a cool choice, but it's got the strap, so you can strap it over his body if you want, or on his backpack. Backpacks were similar, not exact, but very similar. It's got the communication gear in there, but pretty cool new sniper rifle. And as far as I know, no one else has this sniper rifle. They may have given it to another Cobra or something, but who knows. And he comes with 2 combat knives. Frag Viper didn't come with a combat knife, so he fails in that respect. He's got a little knife here that goes into his boot, and the exact same knife that also slides right into his bandolier up there. But they just slide right back in. Now, the Night Viper I thought was a neat looking figure. They came out with the Jungle Viper. He's also got a sidearm, so he's got the sidearm and the combat knife. So he's a infantry trooper ready to go in my book, and then he's got his primary weapon. Now, it's cool that they gave him a pistol, but if they'd have had the rifle snapped to his leg, that would have been cool too. I mean, they could have put the pistol holster like over here so he could draw it, from the other side, Wild Bill style. Wild Bill Hickok or Wild Bill in G.I. Joe. Wild Bill in G.I. Joe. Oh, all right. So here we go. He's got the visor, goes up. Now, the monocle on the original was super long. I mean, it's longer than the classified version. Let's see if I can. But not by much. I mean, they're almost the same size. And then there was this big old part that stuck out on it so it could clip onto his belt, but it never really worked properly. At least not for me. And so the goggles are a little smaller, and the monocle is too, but it fits the classified figure a lot better, and it looks really, really cool. I always love the way these Night Vipers look, and they didn't skimp on us on the classified version. And they've got the Night Viper symbol on his shoulder, and then the Night Cobra Night division on his other shoulder, which is kind of cool. And like I said, I like these backpacks for the classified. Sometimes they work really good and sometimes they don't. We'll just pop this one off for the one who doesn't have anything else, and I'll show these up close so you can see kind of what they look like side by side. And let's see. There we go. Side. I think the original way of pegging the backpack onto the figures worked so much better. It was a bigger peg. Yeah, it was a larger hole in the figure, but it don't come off. What's up, Ray? Rudini Cat's in the house. Hello, Ray. It's good to see you. We'll load up your clip, buddy. Yeah, I misspelled it. I don't know why. My big fingers typed rail instead of just Ray. We'll try that again, Ray. But it's good to see you. And I need to get some music going in the background. Are those beetles? No, not beetles, my friend. No, any type of beetle. No. Night Vipers are, they kind of look like those big old green beetles. So, keep going. All right, and It's Raul, actually. Really? No, maybe. Yeah. Ray likes to mess around a lot, so I'm not sure. But we'll get Ray's clip loaded while I'm thinking about it and remember because, oh, it went that route, did it? All right, I got some shortcuts and things lined up, and sometimes things don't go the way I want. So we got your clip loading. They saying hi to everybody. All right, let's keep it going here. But Night Viper, I thought they did a really cool job. I mean, you got the skull belt. I mean, you know, I think it looks a lot better than the original Night Viper in many ways. But you know, the original Night Viper kick ass too. So they did a good job. And like I said, I'm going to see if I can take his helmet off. So we'll take the goggles off first because they just peg on to the helmet actually. But half the time what happens is I get this helmet to come off and the head inside just pops off too, like it just did. And let me see if I can if I get it far enough I can pop it back on and maybe take it off. Yes, take it off. Pop it on really good. Maybe it just keeps poppins off with the head. There we go. Finally got it. See, and so it just has the balaclava, and whatever. That mask that the soldiers wear underneath. And then you've got the Night Viper helmet separately, which is interesting that they did that. But, you know, it comes off really easy. It doesn't come off really easy. It made it so the visor, the pegs are probably too small. If they'd have just made one scope, it probably would have worked better. But get that back on there. And then it doesn't go on the head as it goes on the head easier than it comes off, that's for sure. But then you get it back on there. And I just, even in the box, I leave the helmet right on the head because it's a pain in the butt to take on and off. At least somebody with my big old fingers with arthritis and shit. So that's where we're at. And you know, it's got the bandolier with the knife and the sidearm, and then got the boot knife, which I think is cool where it's located. Yeah, this isn't on a strap. It's part of the leg guard. It's molded on there. You know, it's added on later, but it's glued on there really good. It's actually a permanent piece. It does not come off. But the knife slides right in and out of there. So he's got the second knife, which is, I think it's really cool. So he's loaded for bear, and if a Frag Viper shows up, he goes, here's your stupid combat knife, moron, because you didn't bring combat knife about. But he's got an extra one for his Frag Viper buddy. All right, now we'll move on to the next one. Now, I'm going to show you a Viper from 1990. It came out, vintage figure. Can y'all do Kaylee Robbins, The Ballad of My Kinship Chaos? I don't think so. Katie Robbins, The Ballad of My Kinship. Which one? Lost Husky? If you're being serious, I can play a song for you. Yeah. The Ballad of My Kinship Chaos. She's got. I'll look at what she's got. Maybe I'll load both up and you can tell me which one. But here's Range Viper from 1990. He came with this really cool. Grenade launcher, gun, and this actually comes off the drum, but I don't take it off. It's too old. And it came with a little rocket launcher. The little rocket comes out of there, slides right on out, comes out. It's a separate piece. Couldn't find my second one because I do have two. I got another one up there on the shelf. So yeah, there it is. Hard to see back there, but that's another Range Viper. And he had a knife that he came with. Let's see if I set it down here or if it's falling on the floor. It probably fell on the floor, but he came with this really cool knife. And I'm not going to talk too much about Range Viper because we're going to be talking about him next month in the episode 88 of Joe Takes. Because he'll be featured with Fire Team 788. There he is right in the middle, Range Viper. So All right, but of course, the reason why I busted out the Range Viper is because who we're talking about today is Grim Viper. Now, Grim Viper, well, we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a minute. I've got a file card that I made for you that they did not make. So, Hasbro did not make. There he is. He's 176 in the line. There's the front of the box. And got Cobra Grim Viper. He's basically just a Ranged Viper with the heavy gun that came with the Ram originally, and then Roadblock, and for some reason they just think that's the go-to heavy gun. So yeah, there's his side art. But yeah, I can look for Katie Robbins songs. She does have a ballad. She might have two, but I'll have to check and I'll see which one you need. But here is Grim Viper. I'll do that while I'm playing the file card videos. It's got this I like the paint and decal they've got on the freaking big gun. And yeah, this drum does come off just like it did for the Ram. So they're interchangeable on all of them. That at least is kind of cool. I don't know why it's not going all the way back in. There we go. And yeah, he can grip it two-handed. And he's a pretty cool looking character. He's not really, doesn't have the Range Viper colors. And I don't have the original Range Viper that they brought out for Classified, but the backpack is really similar and all that. And it's pretty cool. And attaches with a hose. I actually happen to have my hose attached to this backpack when I found it, mixed in with the rest of my accessories. But the backpacks are all very similar in appearance. And it was a nice update. I'm sure that when they updated the Range Viper, I hope they do a retro version so I can actually get one. Because I've got this Grim Viper as a Range Viper, and then I have that Range Viper, and those are the only Range Vipers I have right now as far as Classified is concerned. Now, he came with a couple of knives and a sidearm, but we'll look at the sidearm first. So he's ready for battle. He's got a sidearm and a combat knife. So here's his just sidearm. Extra magazine there. So you got the magazine with the extra long magazine, so you got more ammo. And then I'm going to take this off of him so we can actually see him on the back here. He's got a knife just stuck in that sheath back there. I don't know if you can see that really well, but it just slides out. He's got this little black knife, and if he was from Australia like my buddy Ray, he'd be like, that's not a knife. So he says, okay, now that's a knife. He's got two. So he's got a couple of combat knives, and my Australian accent sucks. Sorry, Ray, but there it is. So he does have the knife right there on the side, too, that's bigger and very cool. And this Grim Viper, it's ready to rock and roll. Serious. Against rock and roll. Rock and roll's gun isn't near this caliber, Might be the same caliber around, but that's not what I mean when I say that. So there we go. There's your Grim Viper. Let's listen to some file cards. You can find out who these characters are, Night Viper and Grim Viper. And I'll see if I can find those Katie Robbins songs for you. I'll play them at the beginning of Fridays from the Hill. How's that sound? All right, let's get these background music off. And we're going to jump right into these Night Viper file card and then Grim Viper.
Infiltration and sabotage. Secondary specialty. Infantry. Every Night Viper wears a helmet that is a miracle of electronics miniaturization. Aside from its wide-angle third-generation image intensifier, directional sound amplifier, and laser range finder. The helmet boasts a passive infrared detector that can spot the body heat of a squirrel at 100 yards. The helmet, combat suit, and weapons are mostly made of synthetic composites that reduce the wearer's own infrared signature and defy most ground radars. Night Vipers stalk their prey in the dead of night. They specialize in nighttime fighting and blend into the shadows until it's time to strike. They use high-tech night vision optics to see clearly in no light conditions, and they can hit their target even in total darkness. The night is our weapon and your weakness. wilderness operations. Secondary specialty, heavy weapons assault. Grim Vipers are veteran range vipers who have demonstrated exceptional survival instincts, tactical initiative, and an alarming willingness to solve every problem with overwhelming firepower. Following advanced commando training, they are deployed deep inside hostile territory for weeks or even months without support. Living entirely off the land, they establish hidden observation posts, build concealed supply caches, and quietly shape the battlefield long before the main Cobra assault begins. Once the order is given, the Grim Vipers abandon stealth with spectacular violence. Armed with belt-fed machine guns and enough ammunition to sustain a small war, they erupt from concealment with relentless suppressive fire that shatters enemy defenses before they can react. Cobra High Command values them because they require almost no logistical support while accomplishing missions that would normally demand entire infantry platoons. Veteran armorers joke that returning Grim Vipers survive on a brass diet, since they always seem to come home weighing less than the mountain of spent shell casings they leave behind. If the jungle suddenly gets quiet, you're already too late.
Now, I posted in the chat there, Lost Husky. I'm not sure you want the Battle of Vi or the Battle of Elendor. She had Kinship Chaos has those two songs with the word ballad in the title. I have a concern with AI rendering and the range viper. As you can see, this is supposed to be, it looks like a brain and a skull when you look at them. Okay? Now, for some reason, AI translated that as something else, just a helmet with cloth or something. But it's supposed to look like a skull face with a brain, with the brains exposed. That's just not very, yeah. So that it just does not come out that way. No matter, even if I tell it, it's supposed to be brains. I did better for the Fire Team 788 video, so I don't know. And then I went too far and it made it look really gross, but that's how it is. But let me know, Lost Husky, which of those you wanted. All right, now we need to talk about characters, because the Vipers, they don't really have a lot of character. They don't have, they're just troopers, so they don't have a lot of personality. But the year before the Viper came out was an episode of G.I. Joe called The Viper Is Coming, which is what I named this episode of Joe Takes. It's kind of funny that the very next year they came up with a Cobra Trooper called Cobra Viper, just Viper. It's a really cool figure. I dig the Vipers, and you get 6 of these sitting next to each other. That's a pretty cool looking display. Televiper came out in 1985. Not really a Viper, it's more of a trooper, but it has the Viper designation. He's technically the first Viper, but he's also technically not a Viper. He's a trooper communication officer. He works for either, or he can go good with either the troopers or the Vipers. The second one, the Battle of Elendor. All right, I'll get it loaded up, buddy. Load it up. So we've got the Viper, and they're the backbone of the Cobra troops. They're just the Cobra's infantry. There's not much more to them other than that. As far as I'm concerned, I always liked the troopers better, even though the Vipers look a little cooler. I don't know why that is. Maybe because they were older. They came out first, and the first G.I. Joes I ever bought was the Cobra Officer and the Cobra Trooper. Before they called it a Cobra Trooper, they just called it a Cobra the Enemy. And I didn't know I didn't know what G.I. Joe was at the time. I just bought them because they look cool. In 85, I picked up Shipwreck and the Baroness, and I was hooked on the entire G.I. Joe line. So, and I'm so glad I got the Baroness, because man, you couldn't find that figure. But once I started collecting, I'm glad I got my original Baroness. But then you got your Frag Viper. In 1989, they kind of went Viper crazy. In 86, the year after, the Viper designation kicked off with Techno Viper. Tiger's teasing me over here. Uh, but and then in '88 they had Hydra Viper. I don't remember if they came out with another Viper in '88. But Hydra Viper came out, and then in '89 they went Viper crazy. They had Frag Viper, they had Night Viper, they had Heat Viper. 1990 they had Range Viper and Rock Viper. Like I said, they just went Viper crazy after that, because any Cobra was a Viper. You know, they didn't really bring out much other than troop builders as much after that. And it was kind of sad because some of the Cobra characters were just incredible. I mean, you got Firefly, you got Scrap Iron, you got Wild Weasel, you got Sartan, you got Ferris, you got Cobra Commander. Some of the neatest Cobra characters were not troopers. Destro, but they stopped doing that so much. They focused on the Dreadnoks and Vipers, and they really didn't do new characters much. I mean, they had one here and there, but Cobra kind of got pushed to the wayside, and G.I. Joe just every year, new dude. And then in '89, it started bringing the old dudes back in new suits big time. I mean, they've done it before, but they started going crazy with older Joes in new suits. And then in 1990, they kind of steered away from that and did all new characters again. But they at least had one from '85 on with the new Snake Eyes. They at least had one new version of an older Joe. Like in '86, they had Hawk. They had Hawk and Roadblock, and it just, I think it's a craze that they went through. But in 1989 with the Vipers, they really went all out. Shit, like I said, you have Frag Viper, you have Night Viper, you have Heat Viper. And they only brought out like 6 or 7 Joes, Cobras, each year. And so if half of them were Vipers and then the other one was a Dreadnought, because in '89 you had Nagahide. And other than that, in '89, they had Destro's Undertow that came out. And so there's that's like 5 out of 6 right there. I mean, I can look over them on yojo.com, and I can bring up the list for you in 1909 here. They had Alley Viper, Alley Viper too. So they had 4 Vipers. They had 4 Vipers, 2 Iron Grenadiers because they had Annihilator, well, 3 Iron Grenadiers because then they had Target, and then you had Nagahide, and the rest. It's just crazy. Other than that, they didn't have any new Cobra characters other than Nagahide. All the rest were troop builders that entire year. So it was kind of crazy that they did that, but that's the way they did things back then. But as far as characters are concerned, I think the only one that ever got any real character was a Saw Viper. It came out in 1990. So '89 and '90 was basically the years of the Vipers, man. It was pretty crazy, but no arcs. Range Vipers kind of had one in, I Found You, Evie, the episode of the Geek cartoon, which was a decent episode, by the way. Some of them weren't all, they weren't all bad. And they had some stinkers, but they had some good ones in the Geek cartoon as well. But, the things they can do, they can take the Range Viper, give him different gear, paint him a different color, and call him a different character. He's still a Range Viper, but this is Grim Viper. It's just their version of it. It's like Ghost Vipers. I can't remember what they're supposed to be, but they're a repaint of a different Viper. It might be Night Viper, to be honest. They've got the Dire Tech Night Creepers out now, and I missed those completely. They were gone quick. I might be able to pick them up on eBay or something, but I barely, picked up Airtight this month, and Bill. But that's life. We do what we can. But that's my take on Vipers. Vipers are, they're just your Cobra infantry. They don't really have any kind of character to them other than that they're just the troopers. They're dudes. Yeah, exactly. For the Cobra. Other than the Rock Viper, not Rock Viper, Saw Viper arc, which I've talked about many times already because I did a Saw Viper episode too. which is why I'm not doing that anymore, single Viper episodes. Alley Viper was my favorite Viper, so I did one. Televiper came with a trouble bubble, so that's why, plus he's not really a Viper, even though he has the designation. I do have a retro Televiper right there next to Cobra Commander, but so I have Televipers all over the place, and a lot of it's just more characters for you to buy, and it's kind of cool that they do that, but I wish they had more actual Cobra characters and less different variations of Viper. I think it would make more sense to me if they brought out your Viper and as your standard Viper, and then had separate heads and different jackets and different colorations, and just let them build your own trooper. That would be kind of cool, and then you can make your own Vipers. But you know, they might do that. They kind of did that with the green shirt for G.I. Joe. You know, they give with an African American head or a Caucasian head. They should have had a Latino head in there too, because Zap. I mean, what's Zap? Probably Zap's over there with OG-13. But Zap was in the first year of G.I. Joe, Latino, and then you had the Shipwrecks Latino. You don't have very many in G.I. Joe, and it's like, you know, why not? But you know, either way. Vipers are your infantry dudes, and that's my take on Vipers. So I'm going to close out this Joe take. I've got a couple little videos I'm going to play in the outro, just like a regular Joe Takes episode, and then I'll clip it from here. I'll post this tomorrow on From the Hill, and then Wednesday on the Logan and G.I. Joe Gamer channel. So that's me today. I'll be right back here in a little bit for the Fridays. Don't go anywhere. Tiger's going to join me real soon after the intro video. Well, we're going to play our community and the other mature content warning, because we'll also play all the shout out clips and everything when Tiger gets here, so we can say hi to you guys good and proper. And I've got a Ballad of Elendor loaded up for you, Lost Husky. I'll play that too, because we're going to be playing the birthday song. We got some birthday shout outs today. So let's do this. Turn this background music off, and we'll jump right in here and play these last couple of videos for Joe Takes 83. The Viper is coming. Hope you enjoy.
Heavy boots, steel on steel. The battlefield just changed. Cobra!
Holy shit, I knew I took that wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Viper is coming, feel the ground. Watch New Joe Takes live on Fridays from the Hilt. All the same G.I. Joe fun just found a new home. Fridays are from the Hilt.
Crimson Guard with eyes on the team. Snake Eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke has the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra Commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet sharp hits, hard flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. My G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. My G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Zartan shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baroness cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs, wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint's shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads, we cheer. From the Hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer, and I play it